US could deploy military in order to expedite its deportation policy. What does this mean for these 21 million people?
Donald Trump himself is a grandchild of the immigrants. I am sitting here and I'm immigrant myself. Republicans, they are not against immigration. They are in a favor of legal immigration.
China could face very high US tariffs being imposed on the Chinese goods. Even there's a serious concern of increasing tariffs in India as well. What is going to be the key feature of Donald Trump's trade policy?
Donald Trump 1.0 and Donald Trump 2.0, there will be a big difference in between. He won't have a second term. He will just have 4 years. He has learned many things. Trump 2.0, to appoint people, those are loyalists to him. The people have to be hawkish against China.
Biden administration was putting too much pressure on India to have a more hostile attitude towards China. Should India expect more pressure from Donald Trump?
I definitely agree with you. India was under a lot of pressure, and China is feeling the pressure as well.
In the last days, Biden administration has allowed Ukraine to use US-supplied short-range ballistic missiles to be used against Russia inside its mainland territory. Don't you think it tantamounts to sabotaging Trump's desire to improve relations with Moscow?
Definitely. I think this was the landmine that the Biden has laid out for the Trump administration. This will make his job more harder. And this is like almost pushing the world towards the third world war.
Republicans have had very good and cordial relations with Islamabad, whether it was Nixon administration, whether it was Reagan administration, whether it was Bush administration. So what should Islamabad expect this time?
US-Pakistan relationship always have been flourishing under the Republican administrations. They always have enjoyed the better relationships when the Republican president is in the White House, regardless what period.
Viewers, very warm welcome to another episode of V News English program Perspectives, in which we bring before you some of the most distinguished experts to analyze some of the most critical and key developments happening around the world. So today we are going to discuss one of the most hotly debated issue, which is the new team that Donald Trump is forming to join him and run his presidency in the White House. There are several new faces, and the world is waiting with bated breath that what this will mean for the US politics, for the US policies, and US role as the preeminent Western superpower which has shaped the international system, how the US views its role in the future. So these are some of the questions to address which we are joined together by a leading expert from the US, Mr. Sajid Tarar. He knows and needs no introduction, but I must recognize that he's a leading Republican politician from Baltimore. He has a PhD in law, and he's also the chair and founder of Muslims for Trump. So I think we cannot have anybody better suited to explain what is going through Mr. Trump's mind, what factors are determining his choice of his key cabinet members, and what sort of agenda the US is likely to pursue in the next 4 years. So very warm welcome, Mr. Sajid Tarar, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me in your show. And you are, so far, what is my journey with the Donald Trump? I have been working with him since 2016. And I have seen a lot of ups and downs, especially from campaigning point of view. I was a speaker in 2016 RNC, Cleveland, Ohio. I was a speaker at the inauguration. And not only this, in 2020 election, I was working for the campaign in a legal capacity, and my portfolio was part of Donald Trump's website at the same time. So I definitely understand what his mindset is. And before that, I say things about it. I have been studying political science all of my life, and I have gone to law school a few times, not only once. So this is my subject matter, what we're talking about today. Donald Trump 1.0 and Donald Trump 2.0, there will be a big difference in between. Fundamental differences I wanted to put in front of your viewers. First of all, he won't have a second term. He will just have 4 years. And in American politics, there's a term is called the curse of the second term. During the first campaign, the first 4 years, the president never pushed harder because he knows he has to go back to election. So he pushed everything. He saved himself for 2.0 for the second term, but this time he doesn't have time left. So that's a fundamental difference. And first and second difference is this: he has learned many things. He's not a politician to begin with. He has never held an office. This is very unusual in American politics. He never held any office before. He had before meetings like 1.0. So there was a reaction of many things of the far left. I can say the far left meetings. Barack Obama during 8 years period, he pushed his agenda towards far left, and this is how Donald Trump won the election. So let me give you an example of what was happening in 1.0 and what will happen. And that's what he's taking precaution on. When he won the election in 2016, he picked up Priebus, Ryan Priebus, who was an RNC chair, and he made him a chief of staff. And within few months of his presidency in 2016, White House started leaking. Leaking meaning his phone call to the Mexican president, his phone call with the Australian president became a part of the Washington Post, and he believes that there was no loyalist, there was no loyalty among the bureaucracy, and from the Republican Party as well, because Priebus was from the Republican Party, he was representing Republican Party's establishment. So he is taking precautions during his Trump 2.0 to appoint people those are loyalists to him. That's number one. That's a key element he is thinking about it, that he does not want to repeat the same Trump 1.0. And the second target he has been looking at, the people have to be hawkish against China. That's the second thing. And plus, a lot of people, they are shocked by the names he has picked up in the cabinet. He's not worried about, he's not thinking about the political correctness because he does not have the second term. He has to achieve his target within 4 years period. And sometime even when I go to the extent that I tell him, he has to clean the mess of the far left of 12 years. Why 12 years? First, Barack Obama, his period was 8 years. And what was the Biden, Kamala Harris, 4 years? They were extension of his policies.
So let me interrupt you to ask a important question based on what you just said. What is it that you believe the Biden administration has done, which you think and expect Donald Trump to undo?
The very first thing is this. Let me tell you what kind of challenges, what he has to clean, first of all. Pentagon is seriously demoralized due to the fall of Kabul, and that has gone on the Biden watch at the same time. And Donald Trump's doctrine was achieving peace through strength, meaning, and not only this, Republican Party's mandate is strengthening army, military. Reason, and let me give you an example of it. Donald Trump was the first president who started the Space Force, and many other things. And second thing is this: the biggest challenge he has right now is illegal immigrants. 21 million of them. This is a gift of Biden-Obama administration to this country. Yesterday in New York Post, it was an article about the Venezuela's gang. They have opened up the shops in 16 states in this country. drugs cartels, they have come up. More than 30,000 Chinese, they have crossed the border. And Donald Trump, during his speeches, he was saying either maybe the China wants to build the army within the US. So this is the second biggest thing. A third thing is this, and this is a far left as well, a love with the environment, fantasizing with the environment. Peace accord. No, not a peace accord. I'm sorry, the Paris Accord. The thing is, the biggest polluter on the planet is India and China. They are not that serious about environment, but here in this country, in America, they fantasize with the environment, and they have what Biden has done had put the limits on fracking and drilling. So this is why America has become energy dependent, and inflation is killing us. So these are the things that these three top priorities. First of all, deportation of these people, boosting up morale of Pentagon, and not only Pentagon, the police department. Kamala Harris was the founder of defunding police. Right now, most of the cities in America, the biggest cities like New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Chicago, you call the police don't respond. Period. First, I want your viewers to Google it, how many cops they are resigning per month in New York. Reason, because they don't have any support behind them. A law is working against them. And then the thing is this, the minute they catch somebody, the liberal judges just relieve them. They don't do anything. So
let me ask you a specific question related to immigration. From your perspective, it seems that the impact on the U.S. Identity, demography, and economy has really worried Donald Trump, which he wants to address. But tell us that U.S. is considered the land of opportunity for the world, and a lot of people see the U.S. As a land of opportunity to build their lives and career. So when we hear such possibilities that U.S. could deploy military in order to expedite its deportation policy, what does this mean for these 21 million people you are talking about? What should we expect?
No, definitely. First of all, Donald Trump himself is a grandchild of the immigrants. I am sitting here and I'm an immigrant myself. I'm a first-generation immigrant. And what happened, two things I wanted to tell you. First, September 11th has changed the entire world. So the reason Republicans, they are not against immigration. They are in a favor of legal immigration. What Donald Trump and the Republicans believe, that Jews should come from the door, not climbing the wall. And September 11th especially has put have given a different lens to see at immigration. Donald Trump has said several times that if you don't respect American values, and if you don't agree with American system of society, you're not supposed to be here. And it's true. I mean, so this applies everywhere, even in Pakistan. You guys are seeing it. You are worried about Afghan people living, and you're sending them back home. So, and third thing I wanted to say, the Donald Trump recently, about 2 weeks back, he said every student in this country who's studying here, we will offer them green cards. But here, when the Venezuelan and Mexican drug cartels and gangsters, they come here and they become a national security threat to us, ultimately we have to do something. And not only 21 million people, they are big pressure on the state, our health system, our hospitals, our schools. How can we manage that? According to the survey in New York, one illegal immigrant their taxpayers is costing $11,000 per illegal immigrant to the taxpayers per month. So the thing is, this was Obama's plan to bring all of these people and settle them in swing states and ultimately achieve one-party rule in this country to eliminate Republican philosophy and Republican Party. So, but this is not only a national security threat; it is a threat to our democracy in this country. To opening opening borders. Matter of fact, for them right now, they are not only coming from southern border; they are coming from northern border as well, from Canada. And I want your viewers to Google it. 21,000 people, Americans, they have paid them tickets, airline tickets to bring it here from some of the South American countries. They have opened up the offices there that if you want to pursue a political asylum in America, we will buy you a ticket. Not only this, our border department, they have made up app. Then you fill up an app, and the border, the fellow, the border inspector or something will receive you at the border. So this is ridiculous. When the flood of people come within 4 years period, and all of them illegal, we have no clue what are their intentions to come to US. You have a right. Obviously, countries cannot survive without borders. The idea of globalization, one currency, this is what the fantasy, it can just work in fiction or some fictional movie, but it's not practical. You have to have a border. You have to have some policies, laws, and respect for the border. So that's what Donald Trump is planning to do it. He is continuously said it that he will do it. And matter of fact, that's what the people have given him votes and mandate to make this country safe, make this country great.
And now let's move to another very important aspect of the US policy, which is worrying the world, both friends and foes alike. That is the likely US trade policy. According to some estimates, China could face very high US tariffs being imposed on the Chinese goods. Even there's a serious concern of increasing tariffs in India as well. What is your assessment that what is going to be the key feature of Donald Trump's trade policy? Will he distinguish between friends and foes, or will he go for Americans first in order to secure their employment and cheap domestically produced goods alone?
A very good question. I have been traveling with the president since 2016, especially 2016. During the election, I have been traveling with them to the certain belts. They are called the rustic belts. I have gone to the towns where there were factories, they were shut down, and all that business or trade has gone to China, or not only China, Mexico and Canada through the NAFTA, which was a brainchild of Bill Clinton. So I have seen the misery in them towns. I have seen the pain in them towns where the beautiful buildings and towns have become ghost towns. And not only this, that China, what the biggest issue we have, they have been stealing our patents. They have been trade secrets or something, duplication of it. So the thing is the point has, and not only this, Donald Trump, this is one of the philosophy he has, that make America great again. And not only this, to bring back the jobs. During the COVID period, most of the CEOs of the world, they have learned that they have put all of their eggs in one basket of China. And then when the COVID hit, I mean, still the supply chain hasn't been restored yet. So the issue is this right now, that we have to promote America. A lot of people, they think that he's protectionist, he's not good for the world trade or something. But reason, ultimately, this is a simple question. I haven't seen a new airport being built in this country in the last 25 years. I haven't seen any big highway built in this country in the last 25 years. Our own infrastructure is crippling. Is beyond question. And not only this, the China, he wants to target China. Reason, because the thing is the biggest threat, the way that China has been building their naval supremacy, the way they are challenging the American trade routes and American trade, and the way they have become a threat to the American allies. So the total focus, instead of the way that during the Biden administration, everybody was taking advantage of American weak foreign policy. It was President Xi, President Putin, and Israel at the same time. Bibi Netanyahu was taking advantage of American weak foreign policy. So he has to put the world in order, matter of fact. And he's going to take a start from China. And I think you will see it in the future. The tariff-wise, I'm telling you, a lot of people, they believe this is just a bluff to achieve, to negotiate, to make it to see the results of it, and results are already coming. Matter of fact, before he has taken over yet, but he has a right now the people have given him a mandate, because he is seen as a peace president, not a war president, and he achieved the same he achieved the same targets which you achieve with the wars through the tariffs and the embargoes. So a lot of new embargoes and tariff will be coming, but let's see what happens. But ultimately, American economy and Republicans, they're always strong in economy. Matter of fact, if you personally ask me, still in a lot of American economic schools they teach the Reaganism. So Reaganism was during the Reagan period, American was enjoying the best economy. So he's going to make the economy strong, and regardless either tariffs or regardless embargoes on the other countries.
Now let's come to foreign policy of Donald Trump. Let's look at the world in terms of four critical regions. In your view, what is likely to be the key feature of the U.S. foreign policy towards these four regions? Western Europe, East Asia, Middle East, and South Asia. And how will these features be different from how Biden viewed the world?
Matter of fact, like earlier, I told you that Biden was an extension of Barack Obama's policies and Obama's duplication of it. And during his 8 years, he kept drawing the red lines in Syria, and the thing he didn't do anything. Russia took advantage of it and built the naval base in Syria. Biden tried to topple the Bashar al-Assad, but he's still there in the power. So the thing is Putin and President Xi, they knew that this is the same extension of the Obama policies. And so this is how, after the fall of Kabul, they went towards Ukraine. And then China was basically, you can see it today. Matter of fact, they are supplying a lot of technical aid to Russia at this point. And some North Koreans, even an extreme, some North Korean soldiers, they are fighting in the Ukraine war. And you have seen the way it is taking place in Gaza at the same time. I want to quote Bernie Sanders here on the floor. He said a few months back, look at that, how helpless and how weak we look. All the bombs and money is going from US to Israel. But Israel is not willing to listen. Even then, it became so pathetic, they were not even then willing to share their military intelligence with US. So all of these people, they were taking advantage because Biden was nowhere. Biden was, God knows, obviously he was in some basement or where he was. And it was extension of the Obama period. But today, this is what the people are talking about. Donald Trump is not only a president of the country, he's a leader and he's unpredictable. Let me give you an example of it. He's a Republican hardcore, far right, but he has extended his hand towards North Korea. He went there and met. He's a personality. Donald Trump is a personality. He makes his own decisions the way American should be, the way that he feels comfortable, where the national interest is. So the thing is in the foreign policy, like I told you, his first obligation or first task is a huge task to restore the faith and uplift the morale of Pentagon. Fall of Kabul, a matter of fact, there are committees here. They are already working on it. They want to court-martial the army generals. Some of them, those were due to the Americans. They faced the humiliation in Kabul. They are already working on it, and that's the biggest task he has, to restore the dignity of America in the world. Matter of fact, not only in the one region, all over the world. Matter of fact, you will see. He will have a tough stand towards Taiwan. He will have a tough stand with the, matter of fact, this is another thing I was reading the other day. His intentions are to get rid of these wars before even then he takes over. And the talks are going on. Imagine, I was so pleased to see the Elon Musk meeting Iranian United Nations ambassador in New York, talking to President Zelensky. He has spoken with the Putin. He has spoken with Bibi Netanyahu before he took over. So the world will be better off with Donald Trump. World will become more peaceful because the world was leaderless and hopeless. So I think that order will be coming soon, and you will see many changes. You will see many changes.
Let's briefly talk about Donald Trump's likely approach towards South Asia. In the last year of Biden administration, we witnessed a growing unease in New Delhi because they felt that Biden administration was putting too much pressure on India to have a more hostile attitude towards China. But we have witnessed in the last few months that New Delhi has attempted to mend fences with Beijing. They met, the Indians met the Chinese leadership in BRICS, and also more recently in G20 as well. So what is Biden's expectation from India? Should India expect more pressure from Donald Trump to have a hawkish and aggressive stance towards China? Or do you expect a recalibration of US policy towards India?
I definitely agree with you. India was under a lot of pressure, and China is feeling the pressure as well. Let me explain the difference in between both. Recently, if you have seen the Five Eyes countries, especially in Canada, it seems like either Americans, they are communicating with India through Canadian, with the Prime Minister Trudeau. With the Khalistani separatist movement, and especially expelling the diplomats from both ends. And recently in New Zealand, which is part of the Five Eyes countries, the other day, they held the election there. They had in a favor of Khalistan. So this is a pressure that New Delhi is facing from a different angle. And this was keep in your mind, this was happening during Biden administration. And the second biggest thing happened when India and China, they settled their border dispute before going to the BRICS. So that was a big breakthrough. A lot of people here in Washington, D.C. think this is due to the Donald Trump coming in, that China wants to rush towards India to resolve the issues before it gets worse again. So India right now, if you personally ask me, they are feeling relief that Donald Trump is back in White House. So policies will be recalibrated in the way you have said it. But here, even then, the biggest thing, what is my observation sitting in Washington, D.C., an Indian lobby has become so strong in Washington, D.C., maybe right behind the Israel's lobby, right behind the Jewish lobby. The second successful and strong lobby is Indian lobby. Most of our Fortune 500 companies, their CEOs from India. World Bank's president right now, Ajay Banga, is from India. So they have 5 to 7 congressmen here. They are Indian. So their technocrats and their diaspora is so strong. Somehow it won't be that beyond the imagination that right now Indians, they are almost taking over the nerve system of America due to their strong abilities and capacities in internet and computer-based things. India has more than 5 million computer programmers right now, and Microsoft and Apple's CEO going to India and saying that we will generate more than 100,000 artificial intelligence specialists from India. So the thing is this. India will have, to me, I think they will enjoy a better relationship with Donald Trump's coming 4 years. He will be very hawkish towards China. And India will start enjoying the relationship more stronger and better. And not only this, right now, if you personally see most of the manufacturer, most of the businesses living in China, they're moving towards India, Vietnam, Malaysia, Mexico, and India. So in the future, you will see that India will have a better relationship compared to the Biden administration.
Your brief comment on the prospects of improving relations between Pakistan and the US. Can you identify some of the possible areas in which mutual cooperation could be expanded or improved? Traditionally, Republicans have had very good and cordial relations with Islamabad, whether it was Nixon administration, whether it was Reagan administration, whether it was Bush administration. So what should Islamabad expect this time?
I think, you were on the top of it. U.S.-Pakistan relationship always have been flourishing under the Republican administrations. They always have enjoyed the better relationships when the Republican president is in the White House, regardless what period. And you will see a fundamental reason I always tell my friends, because this is part of the Republican Party's mandate to making Pentagon strong, making a strong army, even than his last doctrine, achieving peace through strength. So he will focus on Pentagon. And when you focus on Pentagon, the foreign policy becomes very important. It becomes the backbone of your policies. So foreign policy, when the foreign policy, and then you start thinking about allies, their importance is always there, and Pakistan has enjoyed a wonderful relationship with US since 1947. A lot of defense contracts, a lot of our military equipment is made in America. Our top brass is trained here in the US. And we have a lot of trade relationship as well. So you will see in the future, especially after Afghanistan, sadly, most of the Americans, Washington, D.C. have been seeing Pakistan from the Afghanistan's lens. But Afghanistan, Iran situation, relationship with China, and all of these things will make Pakistan's importance more better. Your geographic location cannot be ignored. Right now, you are still, frankly speaking, Pakistan is enjoying a wonderful relationship. Our army chief's last trip to Washington, D.C. was very successful. And it will furthermore improve, you will see in the future, because due to the Iranian situation and Afghanistan. But the thing is this, I always say that I hope a trade relationship improves in the future. Right now, our government in Pakistan, they are determined. Our economy is getting better. It has started breathing. And I'm looking forward to have more trade opportunities, starting with US. And you will see, because Donald Trump is a businessman, so you will see more opportunities going towards Pakistan.
My last question regarding worrying recent development, which is in the last days, Biden administration has allowed Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied short-range ballistic missiles to be used against Russia inside its mainland territory, which is unprecedented. And there are reports that Russia has reviewed its nuclear doctrine and lowered its nuclear threshold as well. So this is a very critical challenge to the international peace and security. Don't you think it tantamounts to sabotaging Trump's desire to improve relations with Moscow?
Definitely. I think this was the landmine that the Biden has laid out for the Trump administration. This will make his job more harder. And this is like almost pushing the world towards the third world war. This is seriously unacceptable. And this is how you can imagine how important it was for a Republican president to win the election. Because like I told you, all these wars started during the Biden administration. American military-industrial complexes, they were craving. They were, I have heard during the Afghan period, there were ghost soldiers. And Ukraine, I have been listening that they have ghost missiles, ghost bombs and everything. And they are all embedded with the corrupt regimes and things. But earlier, like I said, that this will make Donald Trump's job more harder. And I hope that, sooner the better, that Donald Trump takes over and make this, the entire world peaceful, and speak with the Donald, because he has spoken with President Zelensky, and he has threatened, if you cut my aid, we have no option except going nuclear. So it is very important for world to have a leadership back, and all of these Russian and Chinese and especially Israel, they go back to their own boxes, own countries, instead of threatening the world. It is very difficult right now because they are craving for more money, they are craving for wars, they are craving for a lot of things. But it is a very dangerous step which President Biden has taken, and then they have taken advantage of sending 5 missiles. This is ridiculous. This is not acceptable at all.
Mr. Sajid, thank you so much for sparing your time and a very comprehensive, insightful, and candid analysis on a very important subject. Thank you so much for joining us. Viewers, This was today's program, and I'm sure you enjoyed and benefited from the analysis of Mr. Sajid Tarar. But one thing is certain, that Mr. Donald Trump has a different perspective, a different worldview. And whether it is US immigration policy, trade policy, defense policy, or foreign policy, the world under Donald Trump will be different. Thank you so much for joining us.